Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Before starting the video, please go ahead and hit the subscribe button and give this video a like up. Today on The Yum and the Restless, Summer bristles at Sharon's apology. Daniel questions his mother's interest in Billy, and Billy and Sally make love in Paris. All products and services featured are independently chosen by editors. However, Soaps.com may receive a commission on orders placed through its retail links, and the retailer may receive certain auditable data for accounting purposes. At Crimson Lights, Nick walks in and witnesses a tense moment between Summer and Sharon, who has just been telling his daughter how sorry she is about framing Daniel. Summer gets that things happen. Her medication was tampered with, and she's relieved that she's okay. Faith went insane over it all. She also understands her dad giving Sharon the benefit of the doubt, but she did lie and tried to frame Daniel for murder. She hid bloody towels in his apartment and pretended to be Heather when she texted him. Because of Sharon, Lucy had to go out of town when her and Daniel were grieving. I'm sorry, it's just a little hard to get past all of that. Sharon feels the same way. When she thinks about what she did, she's horrified. Nick asks Summer to give Sharon's perspective some thought. She was drugged and manipulated and isn't responsible for anything that happened. Summer sees that her father is determined to let her off the hook completely. She's not there yet and asks him not to push her. Sharon says Summer's entitled to her feelings. She apologizes again. Summer repeats that she'll need some time. Sharon walks off and Nick follows. At Society, Daniel tells Phyllis he's willing to give Billy's business a shot. She cheers and vows he won't regret this. Phyllis asks what made him say yes. He realized he had nothing to lose, and as she pointed out, not a lot of options. Phyllis tells him they're the dream team, and Billy has faith in him. Daniel really wants this to work out. Phyllis thinks they should tell Billy and pulls out her phone. Daniel reminds her that he's in Paris with Sally, and this can wait until it gets back. Phyllis argues he won't mind a phone call. He needs to know that Daniel's in. Daniel continues to protest. He's accepting zero responsibility for what happens if she calls. In Paris, Billy and Sally enter Ashley's Paris apartment and gush over it. Billy's glad his sister is out of town, and it's just the two of them. He tells Sally to take this as an expression of his appreciation for her invitation. She appreciates him accepting. He's sure Ashley feels bad for him after what happened with his mother. Changing his tune, Billy says, "No more woe is me." Sally agrees. It doesn't suit the surroundings. They kiss. Bill asks about Sally's work schedule, and she says she's all his for the rest of today and tonight. He'd like to take her to some places off the beaten path and out for dinner. They'll walk the Seine and then finish in a jazz bar. Sally teases that if he's not going to rent out the Eiffel Tower, she might as well go home. He throws food at her, and she threatens him with cheese. Billy's phone rings, and he sees that it's Phyllis. He tells Sally it can wait until later, and they head out. At Society, Phyllis leaves Billy a message saying she has great news, and asking him to get back to her. She and Daniel debate whether it's a romantic trip. Daniel insists that it is and asks his mother to let them have a few days to enjoy themselves. Phyllis reacts weirdly, so he asks what's going on. At Crimson Lights, Claire walks in and spots Summer. She notices her cousin is in a good mood. Summer says she was looking at photos of Harrison's diorama. Claire says Kyle sent her a picture last night and she called Harrison. Summer knows. She was there. Claire says Harrison has an artistic eye, and maybe gets it from her. She notes the three of them seemed to have a good time last night. Summer says Harrison really enjoyed having them together. She's sorry again that it ruined her dinner plans. She must have been a little disappointed. On the patio, Sharon tells Nick it's going to be hard to get Daniel's family to forgive her. Nick says Summer is protective of Daniel and her mother. She can't lash out at Jordan and Ian, so she's doing it to Sharon. The blonde hopes there will come a day when they won't despise her. Nick advises her to give it some time. Sharon muses about doing some penance. Maybe it's time she paid for the crimes she did commit. Nick says she doesn't need to do penance. She's paying enough of a price with the guilt she's feeling. He's sure time will heal the wounds. Sharon concedes that he made some good points. Nick suggests they go get breakfast. She'd love that. Inside, Claire understands why Kyle had to cancel their dinner. Summer knows she was trying to get him together with their grandfather and wishes her luck getting Victor to change his mind. Claire says Summer knows the history between the Abbotts and Newmans better than she does, but it seems extreme to her. Are Victor's feelings justified? Nick interrupts to tell Summer he's going to Society with Sharon. He tells Summer he loves her and takes off. Claire repeats her question to Summer, who says Kyle was bound to get caught in the middle of Victor and Jack's feud. But her grandfather never told her to stay away from him. Grandpa was actually really supportive when Kyle and I were together. She's sorry it hasn't been the same for her. It's just business and timing. Claire wants to figure things out between Kyle and Grandpa. Summer warns her not to push too hard. Kyle's sure Victor will never accept them. It will be an uphill battle. Claire says it's worth it to her to try. Summer tells her to go for it. Maybe she and Kyle will be able to change Victor's mind. There's a first time for everything. At Society, Phyllis tells Daniel she doesn't like Sally at all. They're not even slightly friends. Daniel grins. I heard you threw a bucket of ice on her. He suggests she avoid her. Phyllis complains that every time she sees Billy, she's on him like the fungus. She's concerned she'll whisper negatives to Billy about her job performance. She recalls that she manipulated Summer into moving to Milan. Daniel points out she's moved past that and hired her at Marchetti. Phyllis isn't over it and worries Sally's taking pot shots at her right now. Daniel says they're probably not even thinking about her. Why is she so concerned about what Billy thinks about her? He won't change his opinion of her because Sally doesn't like her. Phyllis complains that they wouldn't even be together if Chelsea and Adam hadn't cheated on them. It's a bad idea. Billy deserves better. Daniel frowns. Meaning what exactly? Daniel asks if his mother thinks she's a better option for Billy than Sally. Phyllis says that's ridiculous. Daniel says neither of them should be working with Billy if she wants to date him. Phyllis exclaims that the idea is ridiculous. They're just friends and she's trying to make sure he's distraction-free. Sally's a distraction at best. At worst, she's pure destruction. In Paris, Billy and Sally come into the apartment laughing after getting caught in the rain. They towel off and she asks if he wants to hunker down and stay in. He supposes they can do the jazz bar another night. They ruminate about finding something to do indoors and kiss and canoodle. Billy takes Sally into the bedroom and she slips off her dress straps as he undoes his shirt. Kissing passionately, they keep undressing and fall onto the bed to make love. In Society, Phyllis tells Daniel no more talking about Billy and Sally. She asks what he'd like to do at Avid Communications. He'd like to honor Heather's memory. She loved dogs and karaoke, though she had a horrible voice. Daniel turns sad, and Phyllis asks if he's all right. He's just waiting for the remembering not to hurt so much. He wants the memories of Heather to bring him joy, not pain. Phyllis assures her son that things will get better. I promise you there's hope. They're teaming up and nothing will stop them. Just then, Nick and Sharon walk in. Nick greets Daniel and Phyllis, as does Sharon. They don't answer the blonde. Phyllis suggests Nick check Sharon's pancakes for PCP. Sharon complains to Nick about people hating her. It reminds her of everything she did. It's the least I deserve. Nick thinks it's part of that penance she's talking about. Seeing Daniel and his family and feeling guilty is a punishment. Sharon isn't sure it's enough. More. Scene set for Adam and Victor's downfall by spoiler. At their table, Daniel complains about Phyllis' remark. She says she could have done worse and is reining herself in at his request. Daniel feels they should get the check. Phyllis agrees. Across the room, Nick tells Sharon they added mimosas to the menu and reminds her of the time he made them for her but used beer. Sharon laughs. It was disgusting. Nick is happy to hear her laugh. Sharon hasn't been able to for a long time. She suggests they get some mimosas. He teases. We could. Probably won't be as good as mine though. At Crimson Lights, Summer thanks Claire again for putting her plans on hold last night. It meant a lot for them to spend time together as a family. She suggests Claire not worry too much about things between her and Kyle. Things will work out exactly how they're supposed to. In bed in Paris, Sally tells Billy this is the first time she's ever made love in Paris. He says, me too, or at least it felt like the first time. They agree it was magical after the rainstorm and kiss. He thinks the rain has stopped and asks if they should go out on the town. Sally is perfectly content right there in his arms. They kiss. Outside Society, Phyllis tries unsuccessfully to reach Billy again as she watches Sharon and Nick toasting their mimosas through the window. Finally, she walks off. Next on The Young and the Restless, Devin and Lily give Nate a warning about Damien. Phyllis sets boundaries, and Holden reconnects with an old acquaintance.